Sup, dog? We're going to be talking about Melee. After my video of Hyperborolamic Man, Thermic Needle Dude, and his thoughts about how the game is, and after seeing people in my stream and just people in the comments, they're always talking about Melee. Every time I search on YouTube for anything about the finals, or it comes through my algorithm, if I'm scrolling on my phone or whatever, it's always Melee, Melee, Melee. The Melee rework. Is Melee bad? Melee's broken. Melee's so dumb. It's like, it's all about Melee. And my quick 2 cents is Melee's fine. Don't fucking touch it, all right? But some people have their nuanced takes. And it's funny because some nuanced tanks are good. Some nuanced tanks are kind of bad. And I think it's because of their perspective in the game, or just their perspective in general. So we're going to be talking about Mr. Variety, or Veritas. Anyways, we're going to be talking about this guy's video. So this is the guy's video. It's called The Finals, the Melee Rework We Actually Need. Do we actually need it? I don't know. But yeah, his name's Variety, Veritas, Project Veritas. Aren't you the guys that go and just like, aren't you the guys that go into like interviews with a secret camcorder, be like, anyways, he says, welcome to the 11th video essay of this channel. All right, sounds cool. It just came out about 2 hours ago, and he's only got 371 views, but he's got a 1.14K subscribers. So congrats, dude. I'm trying to get to road to 500, so like and sub to me if you can. I'm at 300, going to 500. But yeah, props to you, man. You made it. You made it in the big leagues, dude. I mean, the big leagues is like 100K and then 1,000K and a gazillion, willion. But you know what? Baby steps, dog, right? Comments. Great ideas. Devs can really gain lots of Melee knowledge from your videos. Oh, so Conarain or Kunarain or whatever his name is, Con a Rag. Ugh, I don't want to touch any rags of you, dog. He thinks you are the professor of Melee. So that's a high bar, dog. We need separate binds for jump and mantle. The amount of times to close the gap to end up mantling from is crazy. You know what? Adam 1C Adam, or Adam to Adam, that's kind of true, dog. Because I know in Hunt Showdown, vaulting over things and jumping is very critical. And I had to switch my keybinds for that. So if the finals is able to do that, that'll be awesome. Yuri just says, cool. This is really well thought out. Currently, I do not fully understand the fatigue system, but the whole premise of punishing aimless spam is perfect. That doesn't make any sense. Is this your first time playing a shooter, Mr. Crash Bandicoot 430? I think it is, because you've just been playing platformers this whole time, dog. In a shooting game, you know what? You know what punishes people for missing? They fucking missed. See, it would be nice if different weapons have different ranges, and there is some sort of way to tell if you're within range or not. The last part, sure, within your range. So like, I guess like in Halo, if you have that little, like, when you have that crescent moon in Halo, when you have the blades and it like lights up and you go, wah, that's cool. I wouldn't mind that. But you don't need, they already have different ranges. Melee already has different ranges, dude. See, read more. With the weapons making sounds, this is good. Is the sound coming from weapon being dragged on the floor or something, though? Oh, what? This is too much theory talk. I hate when people go into theory talk. Theory is meant to be in theory. We need practical data, dog. Practical shit. I think the unique aspect of Dagger is that it doesn't make a sound, even if you're sprinting. To really push that whole assassin playstyle, but the attack range should be way shorter, like literally hugging the enemy's back if you want it, that one-shot kill, and no multi-hit for Dagger. See, this is why there's people that play the game, and that's fine. They can enjoy and play the game whatever they want. And then there's people who make the game, and they can just make the game whatever they want. Some players do not know how to make a game, and this is it. Let's see, love this system, because good sword players can completely circumvent it. LOL. Dude, pink the fuck, dog. I don't know what your system is, but the good sword players could completely circumvent it. He's basically saying if the good guy is good at the game, he's able to just bypass all the bullshit. So I don't know what the context is, but I kind of agree with this comment. Tobias says nice. Toxy Roxy says, wait, if you're proposing within the system is giving each weapon an identity and a set of stats to alter their balancing in more ways than just the damage and fire rate, which is great and really speaks to the biggest problem in Melee in games, being that they're just infinite ammo, minimum range guns. What are you smoking? And if I made a shooter with a gun that has a short range but low TTK and only required you to be looking at someone's general direction and range to kill them, people will be mad about it too, no matter how much a space laser gun or a sword. Dog, it's just, can we just know that we're playing a shooting game? Shooting game or Melee, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's usually just about positioning and angles, dog. And like, should you push or should you not? It's like it's just take another game. Just take another game. Take like I always use fighting games because it's kind of simple. It's player one versus player two. Player one punches differently than player two. So it's like, oh, maybe we could do like realistic punches and that'll be cool. And then okay, the dev's like, okay, I'm gonna program a realistic punch. And then the realistic punch goes, and then they're like, oh, that's a little too realistic because like the damage hitbox is like, can we make it like almost like realistic and like hyper realistic? So it's like the skin touching the skin. Because every time I do a punch, it's like here and then the damage hits. It's like, do you need it? If you want a realistic fighting game, go boxing, dog. Go fucking box Mike Tyson, dude. I mean, if one of the Paul brothers could fucking do it, you can too. Go to UFC, dog. If you like wrestling and grapple, go to fucking UFC. Go be 20 with the dudes, bro. These people, it's really hard for me to like listen to them because I know what they mean. But in practicality, it doesn't work that way. But you know what? I'm just jumping to conclusions. I haven't watched the video, so let's watch the video. Let's see if all this... Wait, there's Pupu Pepe Le Penis? Brother, please, does getting 1, 2, 3 tapped by bow, repeater, sniper, KS-23 feel fairer? This makes no fucking sense. Get good and stop complaining, people. Dog! Pupu Pepe, the penis man, 13 minutes ago, edited... Man, raw dogging it, dog. Dude, props. I'm gonna like this guy thing. I don't know what his context is of the video. Let's watch the video first, but he comes in from downtown with the bass comment. The bass department called it's Poo Poo Pee Pee Penis Man. The finals is my first FPS and diversity of the weapons that made me love this game. Aim isn't everything, and you can do a lot with your aim isn't everything, and you can do a lot more with your game sense than in other shooters. The devs want you giving more HP to lights, less to heavy rework melee. At what point will the finals stop being the finals and resemble any other FPS on the market, dog? Dog! You got owned by Poo Poo Pee Pee Pants, dog. Dog, Poo Poo Le Pepe, the penis man. I agree. If you haven't noticed, I agree with this guy because, again, get good. I know it's hard to get good because it takes work, but just get good. All right. After I wanted to watch the video, and then I saw Poo Poo Pee Pee Pants, so that I just had to do that, dude. Okay. All right, here we go.
Over the seasons, almost every melee balance change seems to follow the same pattern. Damage goes down, range is reduced, environmental interactions are removed, attack combos are simplified, emergent mechanics are stifled.
Damn, are these all nerfs?
Continue to persist.
Now, anybody watching this video, remember, I've only been playing this for like a month and a half, going on 2 months almost. Actually, I think in like one more week, it's going to be 2 months. So I'm coming fresh in the game. I don't know all the history of the nerfs and the buffs throughout the whole seasons. I'm literally playing when this dragon mode that came out. Literally, I saw the dragon, I saw the castle, Arc Raider sucks. So I'm like, let's try the other game that they made. Maybe it's good. And it's pretty good. I like it so far. So all these nerfs and buffs and lore and history, I know nothing about. I'm coming in with fresh eyes, baby.
And melee remains as one of the most controversial parts of the finals.
Okay, first of all, let's go back.
And melee remains.
Melee weapons are cringe. Starting to get lives are just melee only players, and it's awful. Dog, just get good. You could flank a melee. You could just shoot him with a gun. Think about Indiana Jones. Remember Indiana Jones where the guy has a sword and then he just goes and shoots him once, and then that's the joke because guns are superior. I know in the video game you get the dual blades and they just ricochet, but it's like you could always flank. And also, this is the one thing that people don't realize for against dual blades. You see the dual blades, right? And you shoot, and your brain's like, it's not working. Well, guess what? Swords guy is going to come up closer, and then he's going to melee. Melee doesn't kill you. It's scary, but it doesn't kill you. You know what kills you? 1, 2, then 1, 2, and then an elbow. So during that 1, 2, if you got a shotgun or a sniper or a machine gun, M11, when you see that hit, blast him. You'll win more fights. And then you're playing a game of chicken. You're like, am I blocking or am I attacking? Am I blocking or am I attacking? And it's just a 50-50 mix up at that point. But you guys can't think of that. So you're like, oh, it's cringe. I can't beat the sword user. You can't. Just stop. Get some help, guys, all right?
as one of the most controversial
See, remove melee from the game or range weapons only mode. Dog, shut up.
parts of the finals.
Melee weapons have a problem. Oh my god. I remember back in the day when Super Smash Brothers was like the best game. It was between Melee and 4. I remember it was like, I think it was like GameFAQs or something. There was like some forum where the guy was like typing saying, Solid Snake using mines is so bad because isn't mines a war crime and he's supposed to be a hero? And the game should promote heroes and not villains. They should take the mines away from him. And I'm like, why does that matter? Do you keep running into the fucking mines? And that's usually his down smash where he like digs a hole and puts a mine or a claymore. I forgot what I thought. No, the claymore is down B. He puts like a tank mine. He puts something there to explode, and you could see it. Like you can see it on the screen. So it's not a fucking surprise, but you could see it. It's on the screen. So it won't be a surprise. After he buries it, you're like, okay, that's the spot where I should never go. But I guess some fucking people see that and be like, oh, I forgot, and then walk into it and they fucking die. And I remember he was just bitching about it. He was just bitching about it on the internet. And then a lot of people were like, stop being a little bitch, and wah. And then it went away. But the thing is, these people are like a cancer. They're just going to say shit and say, look at me, the victim, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into what I said yesterday, where it's like fan fiction and be like, oh, can you make me the main character with all the cool abilities and make the main character the low character who's like the sucky cookie boy, and then I do all the cool stuff and everybody's my friend, and then this guy's not a friend and he's like a loser. It's like, dog, get good, dude. Get good.
Despite being one of the weakest.
Stop buffing melee weapons. Shut up,
an
dude.
Important question. What if the problem isn't derived from any individual melee weapon?
Oh shit, is it the player? Oh, can't wait.
What if the problem is the framework that melee operates with?
Hold up. What do you mean the framework?
After releasing the Winchclaw redesign, many people expected the next episode to focus on another gadget or weapon. And that was originally the plan. But as I began working through Sword, Spear, Riot Shield, and the rest of the melee roster, I kept running into the same issue.
Which is?
Every melee weapon was suffering from many of the same underlying problems.
And they are?
Attack spam.
I had to stop right there. Attack spam. Okay. What is that? You mean left click? Mashing left click? For the melee to melee, the attack spam. What do you think shooting at a gun is? I pull the trigger. I'm spamming bullets. Even on the mouse, I'm clicking the spamming bullets. Oh, I'm spamming attack spam. Dog, can you? Some people just make problems that never exist. They don't exist. These problems don't exist, dog, okay? So first of all, attack spam, that's just the first thoughts in my head. Maybe he's going to talk about more about why maybe there is attack spam. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. If they want to have a cool combo where it's instead of like left click, you can left click, right click, left click, right click. So you can do like a 1-2-1-2 combo that can maybe cool for gameplay. I don't know, dude. But the game is fine. It's fine as is. Just get good. And what am I looking at? Readability? I can read this shit already, dog. You don't need to tell me about reads.
Readability, enemy frustration.
Fuck the enemy. Fuck their frustration. Guess what? You're playing a game where you're shooting somebody in the face. It's called the finals, okay? So if you're shooting the guy with your M11 and they're frustrated, oh, boo-hoo, why don't you just pick a top tier, dog? Just get good. Instead of shift Wing to the opponent, why don't you just shift W and maybe an A or a D? And go on a flank. Do something a little different. Maybe you can hit spacebar to vault on the second floor and get the high ground. Remember Anakin, I got the high ground? That's pretty good. So if the enemy is frustrated, remember everybody, if the enemy is frustrated with you, that means you're doing your job. And your job is winning.
Limited decision making.
Okay, limited decision making. limited decision making. I want to know more context because I want to give him the devil's advocate. I'm going full hard on this video, dude. I'm going really hard on this video and I'm getting very, but you know, let's take a chill pill. Let's be open mind. Happy wife, happy life. I don't know, dude. Okay, let's hear him out.
This idea was further cemented by the Season 10 AMA, where Matt discussed the team's
2 hours, ask me anything. God damn, good thing I didn't watch that. That's a long time.
plans for the Season 11 Melee rework.
So it's hard for the melee user, and so at the same time, it's both high skill and challenging, and then also seen as low skill at the moment right now.
Now, regardless of our thoughts
It's just
on the
called
ideas
skill. That's
introduced
it.
there, they do highlight a problem that exists in virtually all FPS games that feature melee.
And that is
How
what?
do we keep these weapons viable and fun while preventing them from feeling overtuned and overly frustrating?
It's easy. They're called melee. When you stab somebody, like think about this. Oh my God. There's more games in the finals, gentlemen. Remember Counter-Strike? Counter-Strike has melee, dog. They have a knife. You shoot your gun and then you switch your knife to walk faster or run faster. And when you're good and you get in a good position when the enemy doesn't know you're there, you could stab them in the back. Or you could just do a flurry of swipes. It's a perfect game. And if you do that knife and you do a backstab, well, guess what? It's really hard to get there because you have to deal with a one-shot op. You got to deal with AKs. You got to deal with dualies. You got to deal with so many guns that Counter-Strike has to offer that if you run in with the melee, you're dead. If you think about other games and how they do melee, you could just copy and paste. But what makes the finals fun is you're able to have all these weird melee options. Like right here, you have the hammer. It's a one-hit KO if you do the overhand against a light. And the thing is, light has grapple. Do you think that's fair? Shooting you from far away, you shoot and you go, Spider-Man, I'm out. Shoot, 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 shoot. How can a hammer do anything? He can't. Spear, it's the same thing with the fucking hammer. The shield, at least you have this, right? But guess what? You can shoot its toes. The toes are exposed. So you just shoot his feet, dog. Now the shield, they could run closer to you by going to, I think, like the right side, because they have the shield on the left. So it's telegraphed. You know how they're going to approach. They're not going to zig and zag and break your ankles. You know how they're going to approach. You're going to approach this way. Guess what you're going to do? Why don't you just go the other way? It's easy, dude. And now the dualies. Dualies is, I think, it's one of the best melee options because this blocks everything. And if you put your little dot on it, you can ricochet a shot back at him. There's many times where like the enemy has like a sniper and tries to shoot me and I just deflect it and it goes back to them for a one-hit kill. It feels so good. But this blocks everything. You can crouch and block. It blocks everything in the front, even your toes. So you're like, how's that good, right? Well, this, blocking is like getting the shrapnel in your face. So you're taking small percentage of damage. So if anybody has like a minigun, even if the minigun gets reflected back at him, it's just too many bullets that the sword user is going to die. So overwhelming force kills a sword user. Second, this is only good for the front. If you have a team, like a team of 3, your second and third should go for the flank. While you're focusing on the front guy, the other 2 does a crossfire. I don't know if you're new in games, but crossfires are really strong. In Counter-Strike, do you see a lot of people sticking together? Probably not, because they don't want to get fucking naded. So what do? Well, one goes in one corner, one goes in the other corner. That provides a 50-50. So if the guy goes in front and he looks to the right and he sees a guy, well, he might, eliminate that person. But guess what? The other guy's back there, so he gets eliminated. And not only that, there's another thing for that crossfire. If you have a right and a left and a corner and a corner and a front, you have so much area. Like this is, sorry, I almost had a stroke because some of these people forget that it's a shooting game.
Remember, the weapons themselves don't have to be unfair mechanically. So long as they are perceived to be unfair, they might as well be. So in this video, we are addressing that very problem. Not through sweeping nerfs and not by piling on dozens of new mechanics or limitations.
Okay.
Instead, we will be making a handful of small but meaningful changes to the core Melee framework itself.
There's no changes. Do not make changes. Don't endorse the changes. It's fine.
Before we can rework Dagger, Sword, Dual Blades, Riot Shield, Sledgehammer, or Spear, we first need to modify the system they all share.
What is
Today,
it? What
we're
is
not
it?
We're redesigning Melee.
Okay, first of all, your name's Veritas of Varsity. Varsity. Who's Lucid? Who's Lucid, dog? Okay. Okay, yep. Yeah, and Bungie and LG Project Red, I get it. Show us. Press start, come on. Oh my god, I swear to god. Your production skills are amazing, dog. You don't need to show it to me. You're cool, okay? You're cool. I just want to play the game. I just want to watch the movie. I seen 10 different ads about new movies I don't want to watch. I want the meat and potatoes, dog.
So, why do FPS games even feature melee weapons? What purpose do they serve?
We're going to go down a big rabbit hole of philosophy, aren't we? I'm ready, baby. Let's drink a little bit of this. Oh. All right. I just chugged an energy drink from Costco, dog. So you got my attention. Let's do it, baby.
Well, for starters, I think we need to be careful on how we compare Melee with its ranged alternatives. Melee is inherently disadvantaged. Compared to guns, Melee offers less range, less flexibility, more risk, and greater positioning requirements.
That's true.
If Melee simply tried to compete with guns on equal terms, it would almost always lose. Therefore, Melee must offer something unique. For many, Melee offers 3 different qualities that other, more traditional weapons tend not to.
Okay.
One is risk. Melee voluntarily places the user in danger at all times.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I think I need another energy drink, dude. So you're saying if I had a choice between a gun and a melee option, I choose the melee option because of the risk? I want the risk. I want the fun of risk. It's a stretch, but yeah, some people like different weapons or equipments or something because it does provide more of a risk. High risk, high reward. So I could understand that, but it's still a stretch.
To be effective, you must enter the opponent's effective range long before you have a chance to fight back. The next is commitment. Melee attacks are locked-in actions. Its users
as opposed to what, shooting a gun? Okay, let's go.
Cannot instantly disengage halfway through. Every attack carries lasting consequences.
Okay, you know what? If he's talking about melee, not generalized, but like hammer is locked. As soon as you get that overhead swing, boom, you're locked in. So I could understand that. I'm thinking about other weapons that aren't really locked in. In my head, I'm thinking the double slice, dual sword. You could cancel it with the elbow, but that's also locked in, and then you have to cancel. So maybe that's not, or maybe like light. You're like swiping. Maybe I'm just a hater, dude. You know what? I'm a hater because that intro, dog, it pissed me off. Let's open mind. Let's open our worldview. Let's continue.
The last one is reward. In exchange for that risk and commitment, Melee gains access to advantages unavailable to ranged weapons. High burst damage, resource independence,
True.
powerful close range
Resource independence? That's a fancy word of saying no reload, but okay.
pressure, unique utility, and hands-on, action-packed gameplay all the time. But, over time, many Melee systems begin drifting away from these principles. Instead of risk, commitment, and reward, the gameplay slowly becomes run forward, swing repeatedly, and hope something connects.
That's that, but no. Hard disagree, dude. Let's just say everything you said was true. You have all this risk reward, cool things, all these words that you made it sound like it's the best. And the villain is just, it turns out to just shift W into swiping. Tell me, how would you melee a person? Are you going to shift W until you get in a range and then hit them? So why are we demonizing shift W players? Shift Wing it works. Shift W spam works. Think about this, okay? I've seen, again, we'll use a fighting game because it's simple. There's not a lot, all this extra shit. It's just player 1 and player 2. Let's just say Ryu and Ken. Everybody knows Ryu and Ken for like 1,000 years. Ryu shoots Hadokens all the time. He's going Hadoken, 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 Hadoken. And it's just spammy as all hell. There's ways to get around it. Ken could shoot a Hadoken to nullify it. He could jump over the Hadoken and do a melee attack. He could use that Tatsumaki Senpuken shit to just go straight through the Hadoken. There's multiple options. Now, people, when they see them getting hit by the Hadoken all the time, they get frustrated because they're like, this Unga Boonga man is just spamming one move, Hadoken, all day long. He doesn't know how to play the game, but you're running into it all the time. It is up to you to figure out how to fight against it. So again, that's just in a fighting game. Ryu versus Ken, right? We understand that point. To the finals, if someone's shift Wing all the time, why don't you think about a different way to approach it? Usually when I play the finals and I look at the map, where I look at the screen and there's usually, it shows everybody and their weapon. And I'm like, oh, someone's using a sniper, someone's using a flamethrower. Seems like they're a dive player. They're going to be really close. They're probably going to lockbolt me. I should not be in range of that. And I think like yesterday on stream, we were fighting, I think like Team Purple, and Team Purple had 3 heavies, and I was using the Matter. And we got to the finals, and I'm like, dude, we have to fight these 3 heavies. Maybe I should switch my Matter to a sniper. And I'm glad I made that decision because it was open fields, and it was also the suspended structures. I could just shoot the heavies from far away, and they also had like close range type of weapons. I think one had a Shack 50, one had dualies, and then one was like flamethrower. I forgot what it was because I don't remember. They lost and we won. And we won because I just put the pressure on. I'm like, you 3 heavies are going to stick together and throw a dome shield, a blue ball to heal you, another dome shield, another blue ball, use your mesh shield, and then using, like, they just had so many resources to just have this war of attrition. Guess what I did? Pow, 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 reload, pow, pow, thermal blast, blow up a hole because they're hiding, pow, pow, GG, I win. So again, if I see a sword user, I know, okay, that guy is probably going to get close to me, or he's going to hide in a corner in a house. Maybe I shouldn't just shift W. If that person's going to shift W, maybe I should do a counter against it. So what I do, also another thing, if it's medium melee, they can't really get close to you. If you're a medium melee, what can you do to bridge a gap? A zip line and a jump pad. That's it. Well, now that you have shockwave, so if the guy's really good at shockwave, he could try shockwave to get closer to melee. But that takes a lot of resources just to kill you. So yeah, he could technically shockwave in melee. He could jump pad in melee. He could zip line in melee. But that's it. With the light has the dashes. It has the grappling hook. It has cloaking. There's more ways to go in as the light. For heavy, you have just Big Chungus. He's so slow that he has winch. He could pull you over like in Scorpion, get over here for an uppercut. But that's it. He's got what, goo gun? So more defensive. The fact that melee needs to shift W and hit their weapon, like it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like saying, this logic is almost like saying the dude that's in the corner camping is camping too much. Yeah, camping's strong. It sucks to fight against a camper and he's doing nothing but just waiting for you. But then once you know that, the next step in evolution is saying, how can I get rid of the camper if I know he's camping in that spot? Maybe I could just throw a grenade. Maybe I get my RPG and shoot it. If you're playing Tarkov, Tarkov is just filled with rats and roaches all over the place. And yeah, you're going to turn a corner and a rat's going to get you. But then once you run into rats all the time, you understand how a rat thinks. So you're like, okay, if I was a rat in this situation, I would hide in that corner. It's dark, it's damp, it's got good line of sight. If a rat would be there, how would I clear it? Maybe I go in slow and preemptively shoot. Maybe I'll go in, stop, get a flashbang, throw it in, then go in. Like, you could think, like, you could think around this puzzle, dog. I promise that's the last one. Let's watch more of this video.
The commitment fades. The skill expression evaporates.
You don't need to express yourself in everything, dog. Okay, I only lasted like 2 seconds because I hate this video. I like the content creator. I just hate this fucking video, dog. What expression do you need? Let's do rock, paper, scissors. Scissors. Oh, I expressed myself. Paper. I expressed myself. Oh, rock. I expressed myself. I need more expression. Oh, there's a gun. Oh, there's Spock. Oh, magic. You don't need that. The beauty about rock, paper, scissors is that it's rock, paper, scissors. It's a counter to one counter that counters one counter that counters the other counter. It's perfect game design. Now, sure, you might not like the game and you do gun and Spock or magic or whatever the hell you want, but then that's your different game. You're basically saying, yo, rock, paper, scissors suck, so let's add all these new rules into that rule. No, keep the game as the game, dude. It's kind of like Magic the Gathering. Everyone's like, oh, Magic the Gathering. And, you know, it's a great game. I like that game. It used to be good, and then it kind of got really stupid. And you know how it got stupid? Because people were playing, like, the Highlander ones where they're like, oh, how about instead of a deck of 60 cards where you can have multiples up to 4, let's just have one deck, one card each, and then this is the commander card, and the commander card has secret powers, and the legendary commander card, if he's green and white, you can only have green and white cards, and then you only could do this, and you can only do that, and it's like, okay, you were playing a different game. You might like that different game, and oh, kudos to you, dog. I hope you enjoy that different game. But the core game is fine. I think, you know, this is my conspiracy theory. I think the people who play Highlander are the people who fucking suck in Magic the Gathering. And because they suck, they want to play a different game. I don't know. I'm getting off my tracks, but I don't like expression. You can express yourself all you want in this game. I've expressed myself so many times, dog. You don't need to you express yourself by winning, dude.
The distinction between good and bad melee play becomes less clear.
No, it's not less clear. No, it's so clear. You melee and kill, or you melee and you die. That's it.
The goal of this redesign, then, is not to make melee weaker or to make melee stronger. It is to make melee more deliberate. Good melee play should be rewarded. Poor melee habits ought to be discouraged.
Okay.
And opponents should better understand what is happening in engagements with melee.
Here's a peace offering, peace treaty, a peace dove. Here's the talking stick back to you. I agree with that. Very respectable. That last sentence, beautiful. I've been hating on this video, and dog, it's only been 5 minutes of this 22-minute shit, dog. So this is gonna be a long video for me, dog. Yeah, I agree with that. Perfect. Okay, let's hear you out. Keep talking to me, dog.
The overarching problem is that modern melee systems often struggle to encourage that kind of deliberate, calculated play. Instead, they frequently reward behaviors that are frustrating both to fight against and to balance.
To fight against and balance. I don't care about the other player, dude. If I'm playing to win, I don't care if the other player doesn't like my strategy. I'm not here to date him. I'm not here to talk about feelings. I'm playing to eliminate the competition and getting the grand finals. I'm getting that skin, dog.
So, before we can redesign individual melee weapons, we first need to identify the fundamental issues baked into the melee system.
And what are they? Bake like a cookie. Tell me. Oh my god, the diagnosis! You already have the diagnosis!
For Melee as a whole, I have identified 3 overarching problems that affect both the Melee users and those encountering them.
Let's hear it.
So, let's address each of these one at a time.
Okay.
Problem 1. Melee inadvertently encourages spam. Or, at the very
Disagree. Fucking agree, dude. Like I said before, it's a left click adventure. You click to shoot a gun, you click to stab, that's it. If you don't want spam, play a fighting game. Even a fighting game has spam, but as long as you do a combo, you go, okay, double light punch to medium to heavy into Tatsumaki Senpuken, juggle with the down heavy into DP Dragon Punch, and then end the combo with a super. If you want variety of less spam, you can play a fucking fighting game. But I can tell you this, dog, there's a lot of spam in fighting game because even though you do the optimal combo, there's still going to be motherfuckers shooting Hadokens. And that relies on the player to see that spam strategy and fight against it. You know how you can fight against spam? You can spam the shit back at him. You can jump over the spam. You can go through the spam. There's so many tools. It's just about your reaction to the problem at hand. If I see the problem at hand, which is melee, like I said before, I'm gonna react to it. I'm gonna be like, okay, there's a hammer guy on that team. I guess I shouldn't just shift W. Maybe I should take my time. I have a lot of time. I have about 2 minutes on the clock. Let's use 30 seconds of that to just go around the area to just see where they're at. Maybe throw a couple of sonars, maybe blow up a couple of holes in the walls to get some visual aid. And then once I see that, then you make the attack. But that's called having intelligence. And I can tell you the majority of people don't have intelligence. So they're like, oh, can you fix melee? I can't think for myself and melee's so hard. Nah, dog, like just get good.
At least, it enables it. Many melee weapons, both through their timings and their animation patterns, naturally foster repeated attack attempts. When an attack misses, little changes. The player simply swings again. Over
no
time,
shit.
Melee game.
No shit. What do you want? What do you want, dog? Swing, 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 swing. That's what melee does. You take a sword, you take a hammer. What about boxing? What about boxing? Oh, the spam. Oh, maybe we should use our feet. Okay, you got Taekwondo now. That's a whole different series. You either do boxing or you Taekwondo. My brain, I can't take any more of this video, dog.
Play, especially at a lower level, can deteriorate into just keep attacking until something connects, rather than strategically choose the correct moment to attack.
Okay, you want to strategically attack with a sword? Let's just pick any weapon. Hammer. I have a hammer. Strategically time my attack horizontal or vertical, right? I have dual swords. I timed my attack. Sometimes people just suck, dude, and they just whiff it. And guess what happens when they suck and they whiff it? They're going to just spam. If you ever play melee, let's just say you have the riot shield and you're like, okay, I'm inside. I'm going to try to hit him. And then you whiff. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to get shot. I'm just going to spam. Hopefully something hits. And if it hits, great. If it doesn't, you're dead. Melee is fine balancing wise because if you, like you said, commit to a swing and you missed your damage. Just like having your gun, your M11, and you shoot your bullets, but half of it misses. Well, your time to kill went from like 2 seconds to like a million years.
This alternate style of play weakens commitment, neglects precision, and dilutes skill expression.
No. The skill expression was there. The skill expression from missing your hits means you fucking suck.
The difference between a calculated attack and a reckless one has become smaller than it should be.
No, not everybody's godlike, dog. No.
Now, developers often respond to these issues with simple stat adjustments like damage nerfs, range nerfs, and mobility nerfs.
Yeah, so if you suck, the dev's response is like, let's just buff the tools so maybe the guy who sucks could probably get a win. Trust me, they're unfixable. They're unfixable, dog. Those people who fucking suck at games, they're always going to suck. because they're not going to look deep down inside and say, how can I be good? How can I work to get good? They're just going to be like, oh, it sucks. Can you please buff this and make the other thing like super weak, and then make my character like the best, and make this gun the best, and this sword the best, and make all the other ones that I hate, make them nerfed, and just nerf those. Those things that suck. And guess what? The people who are pros at the game, who are good with that shit, when that gets nerfed, guess where they're going? They're going to go to the stuff that's programmed to be good. So then that guy's will be like, oh man, there's no skill expression. Everyone's playing M11s. And I don't know why. I already said that all this stuff's bad and they nerfed it. This should be the solution. So then guess what they're going to do next season? M11's too good. Why don't you get the other guns I thought was bad, make them really good again? Because you know what? Now that I know that M11 is so bad, M11 like killed my mother and my father and my brother and my sister, and it's just a genocide of the weapon and just evil. Can you make the other weapons really good and make them really strong and make them have a bigger mag and ammo and make it dog? They're going to move to the next best thing. My 2 cents, just get good. I know I'm going to keep saying that, and people are going to get mad when I say that, but that's honestly the easiest thing to do, dude.
But these don't actually target the behavior. These are what I would call symptomatic nerfs, because the devs are responding to the symptoms rather than the actual disease.
Which is the people.
These
They
adjustments
suck.
aren't actually solving any of the aforementioned problems. They're simply making Melee weaker.
Okay.
Problem 2. Melee suffers from readability issues.
And so often what happens is, as a gun user getting attacked by a melee user, you end up in this position that you're just getting, like, somebody appeared out of nowhere, they're on top of you, and just smash.
I heard this, and I responded to this in the other video. You could be a gun user and just appear out of nowhere and just get shot in the face. Positioning is key in the finals. It's truly is.
However, the complaint is often akin to, I never knew they were there, rather than, the weapon dealt too much damage.
No, the weapon's fine for the damage. Some people can't think besides their horse blinders. They shift W and they do this. And when the problem comes, they don't know how to deal with it. Now, I always say get good and all this stuff. Sometimes real talk, I suck. All right, let's just say, get it out of the bat. Rip the Band-Aid off, I suck. However, I'm also pretty good. All right, I'm more than your average bear. So as someone who sucks, but also is pretty godlike at times, I can tell you this. When you go and you shift W and you let's just say you shift W and you get a kill, maybe turn around. Somebody was probably there using your explosions, your gunshots, the sound to mask their movement, to just be surprise. I do that shit all the time. One strategy that's like really cool is that you just get an MGL heavy player and you just shoot an RPG in a big explosion, and then everyone's like, oh shit, there's a big hole in the wall because of that RPG. They must be all over there because they like to stick together because they're retards. And then me, MGL, I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, boom, boom. And they're like, oh my God, they're here. They're in that hole, they're in the hole. And then my teammates, smart as they are, they're like, you know what? We'll just go in the back door. And so I come in and I'm like, I'm here, gentlemen. And they're all shooting at me. And then my teammates just fucking kill them all, dude. It's easy. It's called bait and switch. That's just using your brain and actually communicating with your teammates. Now, it's kind of hard when you're solo queue hell, because when you're solo queue hell, you get Tweedledee and Tweedle fucking dumb, and they're not going to listen to you, dog. They're just going to shift W into death and then complain about the devs like the game's too hard. They know what they signed up for. Like when I downloaded the game, I'm like, okay, it's kind of like a Smash TV, the Running Man type of thing, a big game, dystopian, blah, 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 blah. What are the weapons? And I look at the weapons, I'm like, okay, we have some guns, we have some melee. There's this thing called time to kill that they keep pushing to us, and this has time to kill this, and this has time to kill this, and here's all the stats of the weapons. And I looked at each stat of the weapon out of my 2 months. I'm like, okay, that does that, that does that, that does that, that does that. Good. And then after picking a weapon, I'm like, okay, what happens if I run into a shotgun user? What happens if I run into a sniper user? Is there a way for me to counter that? And what would I do if I approached that situation? But that's called actually thinking. And a lot of people don't know how to think anymore. They just let AI do it for you. But I can tell you the best original AI you could ever use is this guy.
This creates an important distinction, and it is something that several people pointed out to me in the comment section of my last video.
Okay.
A mechanic does not need to be unfair to feel unfair. Perception matters. So, thank you guys for sharing your thoughts on the topic.
Thing is, perspective, it does matter, but it doesn't matter for the people who keep getting hit by it.
As it has helped me to adjust my position here. The reality is that if players feel like they were giving no information, then the interaction becomes frustrating regardless of balance.
Okay.
The difficulty here is that just straight up nerfing melee to counteract this, once again, does not solve the problem.
True.
In fact,
I
it
agree.
punishes melee for playing correctly.
I agree. Oh my God. I feel like you're just rage baiting me, dog. You're just rage baiting me with all this fucking bullshit. And then you come out with some good ass truths, dude. Yes, a nerf on melee punishes what melee is supposed to be doing. That's what it does. It's like, okay, Wolverine. Everybody knows Wolverine. You know, you got an Australian guy with knives on his fist and he's just clawing at you. And then you're like, no, let's nerf Wolverine. No claws. It's like, dude, that's what he does.
Melee is designed for its users to approach around corners, through destruction, from vertical angles, during chaotic fights, often without providing meaningful warning. This is how melee deals with their lack of range. The issue isn't necessarily melee damage. No, the issue is availability of information. And problem 3.
Okay.
Melee lacks universal balancing tools. This is a very simple concept, but it ultimately provides the developers with a lot more control over how melee is executed without needing to manually change each and every melee weapon individually.
Okay.
Traditionally, when melee becomes problematic, developers often have limited options. They usually end up adjusting damage or range or mobility. Every time a melee weapon becomes problematic, devs are forced to solve the problem weapon by weapon.
I mean, that's true, but you can also say that about guns. If a gun's too good, what are you going to do? Range and damage. I think the range and damage for melee is fine because basically you have to be in a position where you have to get close. I've never seen a team of like triple swords win matches. If swords were that strong, I would be seeing triple swords everywhere in regular casual cash out and ring cash out. Since I don't see it, it probably doesn't exist. And maybe you are that team that has really good comms and you're all triple swords and you're able to just win matches. Post your videos so I can see it because I find that very hard to believe.
And to be fair, changing universal components of melee is difficult because every melee weapon is so different. A nerf that works for sword may be unnecessarily punishing for sledgehammer. The core problem, in this case, is that there is no universal framework governing melee behavior in the finals.
I know what you're trying to say and go for, and it's true. If you nerf or buff one and affects the other, it's not fair for the other, and vice versa. And they're all different strats, blah blah blah. But it's still the same thing. It's melee. You gotta get close.
And as a result, every problem must be solved individually. So what melee needs is not more nerfs. What it needs is a framework that can influence behavior across the entire melee roster.
Influence behavior? What do you want this thing to do? Do you want it to suck dick? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. If you're a melee and you're like, let's just say a hammer guy, what behavior do you want the hammer guy to do? I got a hammer. What do I do? What's my behavior? I'm going to go in and I'm going to swing. What do you want him to do? Do you want him to just emote, toss his hammer up, do a little twisty? Do you want him to just run away all the time? What behavior do you want to curb? I think this is one of those things where you're just saying a lot of cool, fancy things, but it just pissed me off, dog, because I'm like, what's the behavior then? What is the solution? You can't say, here's this behavior problem and we should change the behavior. Okay, what's the solution then, Mr. Behavior? He's melee. It's like, okay, Wolverine, he's got claws. He's just killing things all over the place. You want to change the behavior by removing his claws? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You might want to limit his intake of alcohol because Wolverine drinks a lot of beer, dog. But what's the beer version for hammer?
So, we have 3 interconnected problems. Melee often encourages spam, it frequently struggles with readability, and it lacks universal balancing tools.
Okay, Professor,
The
101 at
solution,
Melee.
then, is not to redesign every melee weapon individually.
What's the
The
solution?
solution is to create a framework that they are all able to share.
Okay, again, a framework that all. What's the framework? Just tell me a solution. You're just saying. Oh my God, stage 3, the principles. All right,
If we're going
framework.
to
Let's go.
redesign Melee, we first need to establish a few principles. Because the goal here isn't to completely overhaul the mechanics. Melee, as it stands right now, has a loyal user base for a reason. It's intense, high commitment, and unlike any other weapon archetype in the game.
Okay.
We want to retain the qualities that make Melee so satisfying to wield.
Okay.
We're going to start off with an easy one. Principle 1. Preserve Melee's identity. The primary goal should be preserving the core fantasy discussed in Stage 1.
Okay.
Melee should remain aggressive, close-ranged, high commitment, and high reward.
See, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. You already said the problems of Melee was like, spamability, readability, or whatever have you. It was just like a spammy spam. You had all these negative things about Melee, and when your solution of the core redesign is preserve Melee's identity. Isn't Melee's identity is just swinging the sword over and over and over? That makes no sense. You basically said, how long is this video? 11 minutes. So for the first 11 minutes, you said, here's all these problems. For the last 11 minutes, you're like, here's a solution, which is the exact same thing, the problems. I think you're just fighting ghosts, dude. You're just fighting ghosts. And maybe not you in particular. You're making a video for the people who have a problem with Melee. The Melee haters, they're fighting ghosts. This problem does not exist.
Melee should still feel dangerous, both for the user and for its opponents. The identity is here to stay. Principle 2. Commitment.
Are you trolling me, dog? Are you rage baiting me and trolling me? You said it's here to stay. So you're talking shit. Your solution's the same, and then you're like, it's here to stay. If you're rage baiting me, you got me, dog. You fucking got me.
Should matter. This is probably the most important principle. When a Melee user swings, that decision should matter. When they miss, that miss should matter.
Yep.
When they choose to engage, that choice should matter.
I mean,
fundamentally,
it matters all the time I whiff.
It's not that Melee players are permitted to miss. The problem is that repeated misses often carry very little consequence. A healthy Melee system should distinguish between deliberate attacks and reckless ones.
I don't know about
Principle
that, but okay.
3. Information enforces fairness. As mentioned earlier, a mechanic does not need to be mechanically unfair to feel unfair in practice. Players should generally have access to enough information to understand what is happening around them.
I need more coffee for this shit. I already drink an energy drink. We're drinking coffee, dog. Fuck this shit. All right. Cheers. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, energy drink and coffee for breakfast. That's what I usually do, dog. All right. Proceed, Veritas.
The goal is readability, but not exposure. And Principle 4. Universal systems are better than individual exceptions. Whenever possible, Melee should be governed by shared rules rather than dozens of weapon-specific fixes. This helps create consistency.
The shared rules, if you swing and you miss, you don't deal the damage. You missed. So that means the guy with the gun is going to shoot you in the face close range. And I've been beating this dead horse. Whiffing your Melee is fine. You know what? I'll give you, again, an olive branch. A peace treaty, if you will. Sword and hammer, sometimes when you swing, you have a little, push to go forward. I would be happy if that gets removed. I hate it. I don't think it should be removed. But if it's going to stop people bitching, then remove that shit.
The framework should influence behavior across the roster, provide easy access balancing levers for developers, and preserve individual weapon identities as a result. The goal here is establishing a common foundation. So, what would that framework actually look like?
What would it look like? Come on, chapter 25 of season 9. On the next episode of Project Veritas.
I have two major systems to introduce to Melee in the game.
Okay, smart guy, tell me.
The first, and most important one, is the overextension system.
Oh my god. You know what? I'm going to have a new thing. It's called the bullshit system. And you know what? We're going to do another solution to the bullshit system. It's going to be it's going to be the TPS report system, where you report the TPS to the bullshit system. And then after that system, we're going to file a W141967. And under that, once you sign it for the TOS, then you're able to put your definitive code that the game gives you. And then once you do that, the system will be complete. You realize I said a bunch of shit that doesn't make any goddamn sense?
The core mechanic of this system is that every missed melee attack creates an overextension timer in the background. That timer lasts 8 seconds. Each missed swing...
So your solution to melee is to just get rid of melee. 8 seconds? Let's just say 8 seconds, okay? 8 fucking seconds. I swing overhead to try to kill a light. I miss. Usually, there's enough time for the light to just kill me with a double barrel shotgun, so I'm dead. But for the sake of argument, let's just say that guy's retarded. So I swing, and the retarded guy misses 2 shots. So that, let's say 8 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008. Light should have killed me by then. So if a melee misses their shot, they're just going to die? It's just the overextension system is basically adding more lag to your missed swings. And that's fine. If you want to have if you want to have like a whiff system, like you whiff a hit, and because you whiffed a hit, it takes a little more time to get your weapon back in your hands. Sure, we could do that. 8 seconds too fucking long, dog. See, I just think you're rage baiting everybody with 8 fucking seconds. You know what? How about this? Every time you miss a shot with your bullet, you know, for being consistent, every missed bullet shot, we're just going to mail something for 2 weeks. And then once you receive it in the mail from your UPS, not Amazon, the standard UPS, FedEx, USPS, USAID system, once you get that, you open it up, you look at the page, you put a blood stamp on it, you close it up, you buy a couple of stamps, stamp it up, mail it back for 2 more weeks, and then once that happens, it'll give you access to make another shot with your gun. How about that?
Creates its own independent timer that does not interact with any of the others. Defensive
Let's go back one more time.
actions and tests. An core mechanic of this system is that every missed melee attack creates an overextension timer in the background.
Okay.
That timer lasts 8 seconds.
Overextension lasts 8 seconds. Got it.
Each missed swing creates its own independent timer that does not interact with any of the others.
So 8 seconds, 16 seconds, 32 seconds. How many more multiples are we going to do? Are you telling me in order to make people happy, let's just nerf melee? How sucky can you be to have an 8 second? This is just stupid. This is, I don't want to be mean. This might be the first mean video I make. I usually try not to be so mean, but like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to help, and that's fine. But not 8 seconds, dude. That is way overkill. You already said previously in your video, you don't want to punish people for playing melee. You're literally punishing them. 16 seconds? Do you want me to count for 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, all the way up to 16? That's insanity, dude. Like, how many seconds per melee? What about your elbow? That's melee. Would an elbow be 8 seconds long? The easiest solution is just get good. Melee is not that problematic. When I play cash out, I see triple M11s. I see triple Cerberuses. I see triple Shack 50s. I never see triple hammer. I never see dual swords, triple dual swords. I never see triple backstabbing lights. You know why? Because they suck. And even when I do see that in game, let's just say lightning gets struck in a bottle, and I see three hammer boys. I'm thinking, okay, guess I'm going to be sniper today. And then they're dead, and they never win because it's a losing strategy. If it's that much of a losing strategy, why are you still making a losing strategy by adding fucking 16 seconds after a missed swing? If people suck so much that they want this to be nerfed, don't listen to the losers. They're losers for a reason.
Defensive actions, like blocking with the riot shield, do not count. These timers are always a fixed 8 seconds long, regardless of which melee weapon the player is using.
Oh my god.
This means that faster weapons can accumulate overextension faster.
Cool, now they're
Slower
dead.
weapons
Cool.
accumulate it slower. This is intentional. Sword naturally receives more pressure than Sledgehammer in this system because Sword naturally has more opportunities to spam.
No. Even when I'm a hammer boy, dude, even when I'm a hammer boy, if I see a light and they're like dashing around, I'm spamming, dude. I'm spamming. I want it to die, okay?
Let's introduce the consequences. There is a threshold of 4 active overextension timers. If 4 overextension timers are running simultaneously, meaning the melee user missed their attacks 4 times within 8 seconds, the user becomes fatigued. When a melee player is fatigued, they have 75% attack speed.
Okay, maybe I'm missing this. I thought you said 8 seconds delay. So if I miss, I have to wait 8 seconds. Now you're saying if you wait 8, you get fatigued and get less? If I'm retarded, I apologize. I was born this way, okay? I would agree with fatigue. You don't need a timer. Or if you mean a timer per missed shot, it could just be, you could be a thing where you're out of stamina and then you have to wait until the stamina bar resets. I'm okay with that.
And 90% movement speed. These values have been chosen carefully so as to disincentivize melee spam without crippling the user.
This shit was not done carefully, dog. You just pull this out of your ass. Let's be honest, all right?
The purpose is to make reckless play feel inefficient. These effects will also be accompanied by appropriate audio feedback. Because the melee user is not directly shown how many overextension timers are active at any given point, they are provided a warning state when 3 timers are active, which includes slightly heavier breathing and a subtle HUD overlay cue like.
Let's just play a different fucking game, dog. You just want to make a new game. Why don't you make this new game? I'll play your new game. This sounds good for like a new like fighting game, first person fighting game, dude. This is fine for that.
Faint sweat. If a player becomes fully fatigued, then they will hear heavy breathing
and he's
a more
dead.
direct HUD overlay cue, along with exhaustion wisps that can be seen both from first person and third person.
What the hell's exhaustion wisps?
You are fatigued.
You mean those little like fairy looking things?
Your fatigued state does not automatically end after a certain amount of time passes. Without additional safeguards, melee users could repeatedly oscillate between fatigued and non-fatigued states as overextension timers expire and reappear. This is messy. To solve this, we will be using a hysteretic system. Hysteresis is the phenomenon where the state of a system depends not only on its current input, but also on its past history.
Oh my god, you are a college boy, dog. Alright, college boy. Why don't you give me 50? Let's see your math science do you good there, dog. Dog, this is, I don't know. You don't need hysteresis. Hysteresis, isn't that affection you get in your mouth with bad breath? Okay, if it's a phenomenon with the state of a system depends not only its current input, but also its past history, you don't need to try to make so many words to sound smarter. If the idea is good, it's already smart, all right?
So, how do we utilize this here? Well, consider how fatigue is initially triggered at 4 concurrent overextension timers. To complement this,
I'm gonna drink my coffee and hopefully I don't spit it out.
When you are reduced down to 2 concurrent overextension timers. This makes fatigue feel like a meaningful state. Players must now actually recover, not simply wait out the hard-coded time.
I tell you this, if you're gonna fatigue my melee, I'm not playing the game, dog. Tell you straight up. It's not meaningful. Why? Oh, it's in a meaningful state. Okay, let's just say this. You get fucked, but it's in a meaningful state. So it must be good, right? If I put a cool word on it, that's a positive word.
And this is the overextension system. It may sound a little complicated at first, but in time, I think you might see how elegant of a solution it is.
No, I had all the time to react to your video. It's not a good solution. Fuck that shit. Again, peace treaty time. As much as I don't like this, a fatigue system like a stamina bar in an RPG, where you have a bar and each swipe you do depletes it. Once it's depleted, then you have to wait for it to regenerate. I'm okay with that, okay? But you don't need to have all these fancy college words of hypnosis or whatever you said. You don't need any of that.
Not because it is complex, but because it very deliberately, yet very carefully addresses the issue of spamming while not incorporating.
You said it's so careful, it's so deliberate, so careful. No.
A simple stamina bar. It indirectly discourages reckless melee play without punishing proper usage in chaotic environments.
Okay, what about guns? What about light that's just having an M11 hip firing while they're zipping around like Spider-Man? You want to have a stamina bar for that shit? Or are you going to be like, ooh, deliberately to make sure they suck even more, we'll have an active reload like in Gears of War, and where you have to reload, but you have to hit reload again. So that means you get rewarded. But if you miss it, then it's a long reload and then bleh. You know, now that I think of it, active reload would be kind of cool. I'm just remembering Gears of War when you get that active reload power buff with the shotgun and then the dude just explodes after every hit. That's like pretty cool, but I don't know. Then I'll just be playing Gears of War. I'm here to play the finals, not Gears of War, not Street Fighter, not fucking Pac-Man, the finals.
It does not punish frequent melee use. It punishes frequent misses. Our second system to introduce is a much simpler one. Specialized melee weapon audio. This addresses the second issue we cited earlier, which was readability. With this system, each melee weapon now produces subtle movement-related equipment sounds. Swords will clink, riot shields will groan, spear will rattle. This helps to address the problem that many ranged
I need to get through this fucking video. I've been reacting this for too long.
Appeared out of
17, almost 18 minutes. We got 3 minutes.
Especially when you
come on, bring us to the finish line, buddy. Bring us to the finish line.
This modified audio design tells players that a melee user is nearby more than it points them to a specific direction. On top of this, you could even incorporate more decision-making options for the melee users by having sprinting produce full noise, walking cause reduced noise, and crouching make no noise. This way, melee retains stealth. It simply requires deliberate choices to achieve it. Now, the volume of these melee sounds could be experimented on. You wouldn't want it to be too loud to the point that melee loses its stealth, but you also wouldn't want it too soft to where it isn't even worth having.
Okay, happy medium.
But I'm confident there's a middle ground where these sounds provide additional information.
Okay, it's Goldilocks and Three Bears, okay? Porridge is too cold, porridge is too hot, porridge is just right.
The beauty of these two systems is that they create universal balancing levers.
There's no beauty. There's no universalness.
Without repeatedly resorting to damage, range, or mobility nerfs. They can adjust time duration, fatigue threshold.
You know what? Props, that dagger to elbow was a cool combo. Props to you, dog.
Fatigue severity, audio level, and more without ever needing to touch sword damage or spear range or riot shield combos or dagger mechanics. This gives developers a framework capable of influencing melee behavior and capacity cleanly packaged within one system.
Give them a framework. Cool.
And finally, one small change I'd make to Melee as a whole is restoring multi-hit to the few melee attacks that lost it. The current system, with daggers and sledges secondaries only being able to hit one target at a time, punishes healthy gameplay that normally would work with melee players, but
that's the one good thing you fucking said, dog, that I hella agree. Dog, hell yeah. Bring that shit back. I want to go boom. I want to hit. I want that shit, dog. Bring that back. We finally agree on something. I was hating on your video for the longest time, and I was trying to get like a happy medium because I like to shit on things, but I also like, when things do well. But I think that is a perfect thing. Bring that shit back, dog.
Doesn't with these specific weapons. Removing these exceptions to multi-hit would help reward successful positioning, remove arbitrary exceptions, restore Melee's crowd control potential, erase punitive outcomes for standard behavior, and ensure that all Melee attacks follow consistent rules. Given how rare it is for multi-hit opportunities to occur, I think this is a perfectly healthy and rational change to make that should have never been taken
Double
away.
backstab? That was actually kind of cool.
So that's how I would
Final thoughts, come on.
a Melee framework in the finals. We discussed how Melee is built around risk, commitment, and reward. The problem is that many modern Melee systems struggle to reinforce those principles consistently. This design attempts to address those issues at the system level rather than at the weapon level. More importantly, this framework isn't really the destination. It's the foundation. Every Melee weapon in the finals faces its own unique challenges.
It's not the foundation, it's the destination.
Exactly
it's not the destination, it's the foundation.
Because once this
we're
framework
going
has
there.
been established,
Two tickets of paradise. Follow me.
Weapons
Got it.
Through a healthier lens. So next time,
oh, we gotta be healthy about it. Don't forget, we gotta be healthy. Salads for everyone.
How it has lost some of its abilities, and what we can do to not only make it more dynamic, but also give it more options when it comes to pressure, defense, and Melee counterplay.
Wait a second. Go back.
Defense and Melee counterplay.
Dog, you were cloaked with a hammer and you fucking pounded that guy. All right, Mr. Project Veritas, you know what? I don't know who the hell you are, but you know what? I gotta say, I hated 95% of this video. There's only a few things I agree with it. The rest, I just think it's just bloat, and you're just catering to people that just they don't know how to fight Melee. When I'm fighting Melee, yeah, it's annoying because I'm here to shoot guns against gun users. But if there's a Melee option that throws a little like twist in it, I gotta think, how do I fight that shit, right? But you know what? Because you're a good champ, anybody who watches my video, like and subscribe to Project Veritas. Subscribe, give it a plus, a little thumbs up, a little subscription right there, dog. So anyways, yeah, that's the video. That's my reaction, dude. Project Veritas, you know what? The video's fine. You have really good editing skills. I liked your editing skills, and listening to you and watching your gameplay, you did some pretty cool moves back there. So it's like, so that's the pros I like about your content. It's good editing, and it seems like you're a good player. The theory talk, the philosophy of it, oh man, I am not a fan of any of that. My philosophy is not for everyone, and it's not for everyone because most people who do not like my philosophy hate it because it's not an easy solution. For me, it's easy. Just get good. And it's hard for people to hear that because they're like, well, I'm already good. I don't need to get good. They have an ego, and their ego's never been deflated before. So they always go into matches time and time again, doing the same strategy, getting the same results. It's called insanity. And I think Albert Einstein once said that, if you do something over and over expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. And most people that play the finals are insane. They keep shift Wing into a sword user and they're like, oh, and then they keep shooting at a sword user and getting shot back and they're like, and they can't think of a solution. Now I know when I'm playing the game, I'm doing a really good fight, and I just see a sword user, and then they start swinging at me, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm dead. And then I have to think about, okay, I really don't want that sword user to win again. How do I stop him from winning? And that's the first step. The first step is acknowledging that they're winning. And then when you find out that they're winning, they're like, okay, maybe instead of just going in all the time, maybe we should do something different. Sometimes I'd be playing with my friends and I'm like, okay, we're getting slammed by the light user and the heavy with the lock bolt and the flame gun, and that medium seems like he never misses with the revolver. So how do we fight this guy, right? And I look at my team, my composition, I'm like, okay, we have a light, and I'm like, okay, light guy, why don't you just nullify one of them? So then we could divide and conquer. It'll be 3v2. And then it's like, okay, let's try to find the medium, because we all know the medium is going to be healing the flamer guy. Let's kill the medium first. Don't even shoot at the heavy. Just take the flames and just sacrifice yourself to kill the medium. And then once we do that, then we can fight the heavy. And then by that time, he's dead. And now it's a 2v1 against the light that just got nullified. He's back in the game. And then we have more opportunity to just deal with that shit. But that's called like thinking and planning and just being a team player. Now, it's kind of hard when you're in solo queue hell, because again, you're just going to get fucked all the time because no one thinks in that, and no one thinks in solo queue hell, dude. But for me, when I see melee and I get trolled by it, I know it's the game. And so I have to figure out what can I do against that player. Also, there's counters to it. If you see a melee, throw a flame. They'll still get burned up. And also, like I said, if you see a melee user and they're here and they're about to hit you, or their swords and they're about to slice you, or their hammer and they're about to hit you, you could go forward and back. You know, you could be like, you want to hit me? You want to hit me? You want to hit me? And that kind of like messes up the pacing that you could get a hit off. And I know that sounds very stupid, but I do that when I'm a sword user. I'm here and I'm like, because I'm trying to see if the player is going to shoot me in the face. If he's going to shoot me, I'm going to reflect it back at him. When I do this, they stop shooting. When I do this, I'm running at them and doing a Naruto run. They're like, oh, I got to shoot him. And then I go switch back. And they kind of hate that, but that's the game. You can also do that with as a shooter. You shoot some shots, get closer to melee, because again, this only blocks guns. So if you do the melee first, you get a first hit. He has to swing at you. If he swings, commits, you have enough room to shoot. And so after a melee of your elbow, and he's meleeing you, one melee of dual swords is not going to kill you. But your gun will kill him, and now he can't block it because he's already stuck in the melee. In my head, melee is a non-issue. It's just people just need to get good. So yeah, anyways, my 2 cents, get good. I know a lot of people are going to be hating on that shit, but that's the truth, man. It's simple. Think about all the professional players that play the finals, or maybe StarCraft. Let's just say StarCraft's like, oh man, Zerg's too much. Oh, the Zergling rush is so strong. Can we nerf the Zergling rush? Can we just nerf it? Make the Protoss really good, but make the Zerg like suck, dude. It's like, who wants to play that like shitty game, dude? So yeah, Project Veritas or verify your code. You're very good at editing. I'll give you props. Your voiceover was also solid. The production value is much better than my production value. Also, you got 1.14K subscribers, so a lot of people like your stuff, man. For me, I'm an old boomer and I hate everything you said, but you know what? I gotta show respect. And you know what? I can't wait for your next video. I can't wait. Is it going to be a video where I'm just going to rage again, or I'm actually going to agree with you more, dude? I think this might be the first video on my channel that I'm like super like angry, but not really. Like I'm super passionate about it because I just heard a lot of stuff that just sounds really dumb. Melee's fine. Don't touch it. I can't wait to see your next video, dude. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.